Hey guys, it's Sarah. This is just another response to a comment on my thread on Reddit, my recent AMA about computer science internships and full-time offers and stuff like that. Comp Sci Gang asked, do you have any advice for doing well at these FAANG internships? How much LC did you go through / prep did you do in the year leading up to graduation / interview prep for new grad? So I started prepping for interviews my first year of CS. The summer before, actually. I bought Cracking the Coding Interview by Gail McDowell and started doing practice. At the time, I didn't even really know what a linked list was, so don't be scared if you're starting from almost nothing. You can only learn more and more. You can't change what you know right now. Don't be discouraged by the amount you know right now. Just focus on becoming better. So I made a point to practice probably 2 hours every morning after the school semester started, so August, September, leading up to interviews for internships. I practiced in the morning before I'd go to class. I worked my way through school, so I also had a job, and I was doing full-time engineering classes, and I managed to keep a 3.8 GPA my whole school undergrad. So if you're saying, well, there's no way I don't have time, the truth is you probably do have the time. You just have to get rid of other things that you might enjoy more than practicing coding questions. I'm not saying you should do that, but if you really want to intern at a top company like Google, you get what you put in. So if you really want to intern, you need to spend time making your LinkedIn profile look great. You need to spend time on your resume. You need to spend time developing a network so you have referrals. And you need to spend time creating interview questions, working on interview questions. It's hard. It takes a lot of time. But trust me, if you get a full-time offer, it's so worth it. And I don't regret at all the time I spent doing that. I didn't really have a social life my freshman and sophomore year of my CS degree. So, you give things up. I would say it was worth it, though. And I made a lot of great friends my junior and senior year. I've been able to help a lot of people because I got internships early. So, I've been able to give a lot of people advice, and I also have been able to refer a lot of my friends and help them get internships. Obviously, though, at the end of the day, I can refer someone. I can't make them a better developer. So you have to put the work in to, become good at coding. So all my friends who I referred, I would only refer if I saw them really putting work in. It wasn't oh, they're my friend, I'm going to refer them. It was usually, I know them, I know they work hard, they're good at what they do, and I see them really putting effort into practicing coding questions, so I'm going to refer them. And all of them got offers, in a large part, in my opinion, due to the work they put in practicing coding questions and everything. Leading up to graduation, which I actually haven't graduated yet, I'm almost there. But that's why I have time to do stuff like this right now, answer questions on Reddit, is because I'm still in school, but I'm not working right now because I don't need to, because I've saved up enough from my internships to finish paying for my school and graduate debt-free. And I have had 2 full-time offers. I took Google's, so I don't have to spend a lot of time prepping for interviews because I don't have any to go through, because I did so much prep ahead of time. So, you put in the work ahead of time, not only is there less competition at the beginning, in my opinion, the entry-level internships, I think, have less competition because a lot less people know about them. It's also, they're a lot easier to get into than, later on. And the interviews are a lot easier. All in all, I've interviewed at Amazon, I've interviewed at Facebook, I've interviewed at Google, I've interviewed at Microsoft, I've interviewed at MSCI. So I've done countless technical interviews, for sure more than 20. And there's only been 2 that I didn't get good feedback on, and one I know for sure what went wrong. The other thought I did really well, and I didn't get a return offer, I didn't get a offer, so I still don't really know what went wrong in that interview, but there's only been one interview where I didn't know the question I was asked. So if you put the work in preparing now, honestly, you can probably do great in all your interviews. I don't like leak code, though, so for anyone who doesn't know, when the question asks how much LC did you go through / prep did you do in the year leading up to graduation / interview prep for new grad, LC is referring to LeetCode, which is a website with a lot of interview questions you can go through. I mean, I haven't been on LeetCode anytime recently, so maybe they've updated their product and it's better, but I personally don't like it because it's just way, way too many questions. And I think it misses the whole point of interviewing, which is, do you understand the core concepts well enough that if you get a question you don't know or you haven't seen, you can work your way to an answer by talking with the interviewer, working out loud with them as a teammate. But then also because you have a good enough understanding of the basic data structures, which data structures to use when, time and space complexity, that you shouldn't have had to have seen that question to be able to work your way to a good answer. And LeetCode is in my opinion, what it's promoting is just rote memorization of a lot of different problems. And then if you get a problem you haven't seen before and you haven't memorized the response, you're almost lost because you don't even know the best way to work through it because you've just been focusing on memorizing a ton of answers than actually understanding the process you're going through. So I really like algoexpert.io because they've got a great data structures crash course for those of you new to data structures. But they have a curated list. I think it's a little over 100 right now. And the purpose of those questions, they're very carefully thought out, is to walk you through all the core concepts of almost all the main data structures and coding questions you might get. And the idea is really hammering the basics. And so if you work your way through all those questions and you really understand their thought process and the logic, which you can watch because they have detailed videos. If you get stuck, they have a video going through the logical process of their approach and why they took it. And then they have a video going through the coding that they actually do, and they talk you through the code they wrote and why. They also check your time complexity. So if your code takes too long to run, it will time out and they'll let you know. But that really helped me get the basics and a very deep core understanding. And largely due to that core understanding, I think is why I've only ever had one question that I didn't really know how to answer. So yeah, I didn't actually end up doing any new grad interviews because I didn't have to because I already had a full-time offer from Google. Google does sometimes require new grad interviews from interns even if their manager recommends hire. But the hiring committee looked at my packet and looked at all the code I wrote and my manager's recommendations and the fact that a high-level manager was asking for me by name to be on his team full-time. All that combined, they said, we don't think she needs any additional interviews and just gave me a full-time offer. So, but yeah, if you're prepping for new grad, especially if you're having a hard time with interview questions, I would highly recommend algoexpert.io. I don't receive any compensation by recommending them. They do cost money, but in my opinion, it's an investment in your future and it's a yearly subscription. I would say I got every penny's worth out of that subscription. I also know I learn differently than other people. So what works for me won't work for everyone else. So if you've been using LeetCode and you think it's really helping you, I would keep doing that. Yeah, just try different sites, see what works best for you. We all learn in different ways, but algoexpert.io was very helpful to me. So hope that helps. Thanks.